What is up, Horsey fam? It is a beautiful Monday afternoon here in sunny South Africa, and you guys are about to meet my horses. But first, it's lunchtime, so let's get that out the way, and we'll introduce you to the family. As you can probably hear, Charlie gets really excited for lunchtime. So much so that he just about breaks down the stable door. So I'm going to stop wasting time and get the poor guy his food. Last but not least, Sagie Girl will be getting her lunch. She eats outside around the corner because she fights with everyone. There's always that one. So yeah, let me put you guys down for this. Is it just me, or is food time always a seriously messy affair? It's impossible for me to stay clean. I have a birthday party today, so I thought I'd put on a nice top and yeah, here we go. Put on some nice jeans. I think it's safe to say that was an epic fail. But I guess such is life, living with horses, feeding them, taking care of them. Let me know in the comments if food time is just as a messy affair as it is for me as it is for you, because wow. Right, let's get on with this. Put these guys away and we're good to go. Fort Knox over here because a certain little lady who I will introduce to you now manages to open absolutely everything, including her stable door and the other horses. That is called Memphis proofing. Everybody meet Charlie. Oh boy. So this is Charlie, guys. His full name or stud name is Kondos Appaloosa. He is a Kondos bred Appaloosa. He's full-bred Appaloosa, although he might look a little like a warm blood. That's because the rest of his line is full-blown warm blood. Brandenburg, in fact, so really nice jumping and dressage lines there. His stable name, should I say, is Ty. That's what we called him for short. And then, as some of you might know, if you know me, that I have nicknames for my horses' nicknames, or all my animals have nicknames for their nicknames. So yeah, if you randomly one day think I have a new horse, don't worry, or a new animal, don't worry, it probably isn't a new one. It's probably just a new nickname. So yeah, this is Ty, aka Charlie. Most of the time I call him Charlie. When he's in trouble, he gets the good old Ty, and when he's really in trouble, it turns into a tumelo. So, but that's a little bit of a mouthful. So yeah, Ty is 15-3 hands. Well, he was 15-3 hands when he was, we measured him at 4, I think. He is now 9, and he hasn't done much growing upways, but he's definitely done a lot of outward growing. He is somewhat of a barrel, as you can see, but oh, what a darling. I got him when he was around 2.5. He was standing on a farm up the road here, quite skinny and neglected. He lived out. He had a lot of like rain rash, whatever they call it, and really, I'll see if I can insert some pictures in here, but really didn't look like much. I got an opportunity to have a look at him and somehow saw through all the ticks and mange and scaly coat and dry skin and ribs, and I figured, well, this horse, he moved really well, even as a youngster, so I figured, well, you know, this horse could probably be turned into something decent, and my gosh, I wasn't wrong. I backed him myself, and he was really easy, to be honest. He wasn't at all difficult. He just went with the flow. We did a few prelim dressage shows, and he actually did in very well. His third show, he scored a 70% in both the prelim 3 and 4. And yeah, I decided, well, I guess he'll be a dressage pony. So I did dabble in a little bit of show jumping. If you follow my Instagram, link it over here, you'd know that I kind of like to give all my horses an opportunity to expose their talents and see where they really are talented. He didn't really take much to the jumping, which I'm super pleased about, because not a fan of jumping myself. Had a few really bad falls when I was younger, so I'm pleased that he took to the dressage, and he really excels at it. He loves the more technical moves and lateral movements. So yeah, we took a bit of a 4-year break, I think it was about. A lot of personal life things happening, nothing hectic, but he just basically, it was shortly after I backed him, he basically just rested and, you know, I allowed him to be a horse, and he spent most of his days outside in the field, yeah, just being a horse and enjoying life, mowing the lawn. And yeah, I've recently brought him back and started slowly, and then obviously we had the saddle issue, which is not playing in our favor, and lockdown, of course, so not much has happened since then. I try to do a lot of trick training with him, but because he's quite a sensitive soul, he kind of gets a little bit anxious, and so I really have to take a kind of really slow standoffish approach with him, and literally kind of let him guide me as to what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. If I push him too hard, he just completely loses the plot. He starts wind sucking, he gets extremely anxious and just gets himself into a complete knot, and it turns out to be not really a pleasant experience for him, which is not what we want. So he does learn really quickly, and he does enjoy it when he does get it right. He goes a little bit extra. I'll insert some clips here for you to see, and those are really the times that he enjoys the trick training. So I do hope to carry that on with him going forward, as well as the riding. The groundwork is so good for the riding, and you know, you really develop them from the ground up, and there's so much truth in that, and I've seen it already in just a little bit that I've done with him. So I hope to expand on that, if you'll allow me to, and yeah, see how we go. So he is, I think I mentioned earlier, he is an Appaloosa. Funny enough, not many spots. Let me show you, just to prove that I'm not lying. There are spots here. Over here you can see the one and only patch that exists. That's it, guys. Proof that he's an Appaloosa. Oh, and come show them your motley nose. Here we go. mottles all over the nose. That's it, guys. Proof that he's an appy. That is Ty's story pretty much in a nutshell. I hope to keep you updated as we go along. I hope you have enjoyed seeing him and hearing more about the Munchkin. Let's move on to Madam Memphis. This, friends and family, is the little missus I was, or the little miss rather, I was talking about earlier, escape artist. This is Miss Memphis. She opens everything. She opens the other horses. She opens the feed room. She gets stuck into the feed. She opens every gate. She climbs over them. She climbs under them. You name it. That's her. She's also the little lady that's been in some of my trick training videos that I've posted, or the one and only trick training video I've posted recently. She is actually Mum's pony. We bought her from a lady in Johannesburg. She's actually from a Welsh pony stud, if I'm not mistaken. We got her when she was 4, I think it was, and she is now 19. Doesn't look it at all. Okay, a little bit dirty, excuse the dirt, but yeah, she's now 19, and she did a little bit of showing and dressage with the younger riders. I had a little girl that used to ride and show her in the Sinisa. It's our local schools league, yeah, and she did really well. She made it all the way up to national level, and I think she came 3rd in one of the dressage classes. So she and the showing class, I might add. She's quite the looker, or she was quite the looker, and still is when she's not filthy. And yeah, she really excelled at that, really enjoyed that. But the little girl kind of grew up and grew out of her. So yeah, she's basically retired. Because she's grey, she developed a lot of melanomas. She has a few around her mouth here, so I tend to not ride her with a bit. If I do ride it will be bitless. And she has a few under her stomach as well, so I kind of don't really put a saddle on her anymore. If I do ride it, it'll be bareback, just because we don't want to make her uncomfortable and yeah, put her through any unnecessary pain and stuff. So she, on the other hand, is really excelling at the trick training. Loves the positive reinforcement system that I use, and she will just about do anything for food. She loves her food. She is a Nooitgedacht, which is a Nooitgedacht cross Boerperd, which are both truly hardcore South African breeds. So yeah, she's crossed Nooitgedacht Boerperd, and her father was actually a Boerperd national champion. So he was on the front cover of one of our local horse magazines, Horse Quarterly, which is pretty cool. So she's got quite good breeding. Yeah, like I said, she's retired now, so we don't do much riding. If we do, it'll just be like playing and riding bareback, bitless, that type of thing. And trick training, I hope to turn her into a epic trick training pony. We're getting there, so yeah. Madam, what do you have to say for yourself? She's a good girl. She's a good girl. She's not the tallest of horses. She is, I think, around 14'1", 14'2" hands. So that awkward stage between horse and pony. So safe to say she's a honey. And yeah, that's basically the story of Memphis. Do you want to go out? Should we take you out? Let's take you out. Come, let's go. So I'm going to prove to you. Watch. There it goes. Come, let's go. Open it. Open it. All the way. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. That's it, guys. See, not lying. There it goes. Okay, it's open. Come. Let's go. Okay, so just before you think you're seeing double, you're not. We have another little grey lady to introduce you to. This, boys and girls, friends and family, is Sagie. Her real name is Sage. Sage is actually not my horse. She's a friend of mine that stays down the road. The place where I do a little bit of coaching and teaching, that's actually where she's from. She has we call it her twin brother. They look identical. He just has a floppy ear because the ticks got in there, and yeah. So Sagie doesn't have that much of a great story, purely because she came from a neglected and abused home. She actually ended up at a Highveld Horse Care Unit, which is a horse shelter that rescues neglected and abused horses. So she found herself there with her brother, and my friend kind of saw the two of them and adopted them. Well, she adopted Jerry's her brother, and Sage was the free gift that came with. Sage went to my friend's yard and stayed there for a while. And I was working with her to get her ready to go into the school and become a school horse for the kids to learn to ride, and started picking up little things that weren't adding up. Her groundwork was really, really good. She really responded well to all the groundwork exercises I did. However, when I started getting onto ride, it was quite a different story. She was really anxious, really tense. She actually at one stage, a couple of times, tried to get me off. But it wasn't the type of bucking that was like behavior related. It was coming from a really, really deep, dark place. So I was slightly concerned, and I started doing a little bit more digging before I carried on riding. And it wasn't until the one day I was riding, and it was the same story, her trying to get me off. And I thought to myself, well, if she is in pain or there is anything pain related going on, I'd rather not push it too much. And so I then decided to get off. But when I got off, I was a little bit, rushed, and I got off quite quickly. And kind of mid-air, she just sprung and did a 180 and tried to kick me. She nearly got me in the back of the head. So I was really lucky that day, but there was a squeal and like a noise that went with it, and I was like, that's not usual. A horse won't just retaliate and squeal at a human like that for no reason. So I put her in the lunge ring with the saddle on, to see how she reacted and see if there was something that she would tell me there. And lo and behold, it was quite something. I'll insert the video here for you to see. I could just see complete pain and torment and torture all over her face. She was bucking, she was squealing, she was absolute, it was just horrible. And it was then that I kind of realized that there was something a lot more serious. Charlie, this is not about you. This is about Sage. You've had your turn. Sorry. Always stealing the limelight, he is. Just bulldoze over my tree. That's no problem. You do you, boo. Wow. I had her in the ring, and yeah, she was completely just in so much pain, and I could see it on her face, in her body language. And it was then and there that I was like, there's something wrong. It must be with her back. And I suspected kissing spine. So I just ran the key down her back. She was in a little bit of pain, but there was nothing hectic. It was like a little bit of discomfort, it could have been a stiff muscle, a cold back, whatever. But there was something deeper than that, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I obviously then suspected kissing spine, because everything that I'd done up until then kind of lent itself towards kissing spine. And we made the decision to call Highveld Horse Care again and just explain to them what was going on. They then said to us that they will come and collect her and do tests, and if it was kissing spine, then they would obviously just check to what degree it was, how bad it was, and depending on whether she was in a large amount of pain or not, she would either then be euthanized, or she could then come to my place here and just cut grass for the rest of her life. So She went there, they decided that they had the vet come out, and the vet concluded that there was some pain, but they never really concluded kissing spine. They didn't really go as far as doing all those tests because they are quite costly. So they said, you know, the choice is ours. They you know, she could stay here provided that we give her the right care and make sure that she's not in constant pain. So that's what happened. She then came here, and let's get her in the background for you guys. She then came here and has been here ever since. She actually had the physio the other day, just to kind of give her the once over and check that she's not in chronic pain or anything. When she's not under saddle, when she's not doing anything, she's absolutely fantastic. She's the sweetest thing. Super easy to get around, to lead, to handle. Absolutely nothing wrong with her, and she's, as you can see, living her best life. Fat and healthy, and doesn't really look like a horse that's in much pain. So yeah, the physio came out and she did a couple of tests and said, yeah, all things are pointing towards kissing spine. So seems like my prediction was right, and I'm glad that we could provide her a place where she could just rest and, you know, not be bullied into riding and, you know, have to experience painful situations every day. So Sagie's breeding, from what we can tell, there isn't much history on her. She is, from what they've told us, she's got a little bit of Arab in her somewhere, Arab, possibly thoroughbred, so Anglo. Her brother was crossed with Percheron, so I'm not sure if the same applies to her. But she's a sweet girl nonetheless. She can be a bit sassy at times, but for the most part, really sweet girl. Hey Sagie. Hi Sagie Girl. Hello. Hi Sagie Girl. Hello Sagie babes. If ever I've seen anything, this horse loves a blanket. Put a blanket on her and she literally goes to sleep. Hello babes. She literally puts her head down and goes to sleep. So it's really cute. Well, that's it guys, done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed meeting the fatties and enjoy each one of their own little personalities. I hope you got to learn a little bit more about them and who's doing what and who's where. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos of this nature, obviously then you need to subscribe so that I know you guys are wanting more. Otherwise it'll be pretty pointless for me to be carrying on. But yeah, it's been a good week. I've seen the channel grow a little bit, so thanks for that guys. For all the new people that have joined since the last video, welcome. My name's Jen, and yeah, please do also go follow my Instagram account because I share a lot of more technical training type posts. I'm able to kind of reach you guys on a little bit more of a how do I say, more detailed level than kind of like a video once a week, which by the way I'm going to attempt to try and do every week. I will attempt to try and upload every Sunday. This last week was kind of a little bit of a train wreck, so hence you might be getting this video Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is currently Monday, so I will try get this done by the end of today, if not Tuesday, Wednesday. YouTuber's life is quite hectic, so anyway, let me stop rambling on. Yeah guys, I will see you either on Instagram or in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe and love to all. Cheers.